All these rumors are fun to talk about, and Red Bull hasn't blown up yet.
Alex Albon's birthday, and his gift, Logan Sargent's car.
With the drain covers, why is this such a big issue?
That's what I'm saying. Alonso more and more is looking like Aaron Rodgers.
He's geriatric. We just kind of want him for merit mark.
You cannot win a constructor's battle when your second driver is not performing.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Things are getting crazy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Tristan, Christina, and Steven. And today we're talking all things Japanese Grand Prix, but as always, headlines first. And more importantly, people seem to like the clips that I put out where I'm talking from a PR perspective. So we're going to talk about some interesting PR moves this weekend. I'm sure these PR managers are really sitting there like, you damn rookies, bro.
I like it. Leave it that way. Do not media train them.
Chaotic F1, best F1.
Yeah, well, Kimi Antonelli went on a podcast and basically admitted that he and Ollie committed credit card fraud.
Okay.
Loved it. It was great.
I mean,
it was only 2 hours of fraud, okay? They only did it for 2 hours.
Guys,
credit card fraud is credit card fraud.
How much do they spend, though? Is what the
I don't think they told us, but I
don't think they said, but it was a lot.
The trainer whose card they stole did get all of the things because they sent everything they bought to the trainer's house. So is it really fraud if the trainer ended up getting everything they bought with his money?
I mean, I feel like we can give some leeway, but that wasn't the only fraud.
This is so out farm of my brain right now that I don't even know what to say.
Franco Colapinto was forging Charles's signature for Ferrari fans as well, so that was kind of funny.
Was it actually good? I didn't see any evidence of it.
I didn't see it. I saw him doing the signature.
What is?
But he was like, "Guys, I can do Charles's signature. Don't worry." And he signed a Ferrari shirt.
I just think it's I love that these new rookies aren't media trained. It's wonderful. I mean, it's really fun.
They tried to media train Franco. Remember, he posted a story last year when he went into media training, off to media training, guys.
Did you see George following behind the rookies, and everybody's like, "Oh, look, he's babysitting."
Yeah, they were like, "George, you have to help," because Kimi also on that podcast was like, "I have exams," and they were like, "I bet you George would be good at math. Ask him to help him with your math." So George is on tutor and babysitting duty.
I bet he is good at math. Actually,
I bet he is. He would be. He's also
faith.
His girlfriend works in finance, so
I'm on Kimi's side though because he's doing algebra and he's like, everything is letters now. It's so confusing. Me too,
algebra,
Kimi.
Man.
You know,
Me too.
If we still had, or maybe next idea for Throwback Thursday is drivers with degrees. I wonder if there's any drivers in the sport that had college level degrees.
Remember that time on a fan stage they were like, "Carlos, you went to university, right?" And he's like, "No, I did not." Where did you find this information?
Do you see race car? Do you see?
These guys basically they barely finished high school. A lot of them. I don't think Max has a high school degree.
Kimi's only doing it because of his mom.
Max has been in F1 since before he would have been the age to graduate high school.
Yeah,
fair enough.
He could do the accelerated courses, I'm sure.
Kimi's only doing it because his mom, because it's important to his mom.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, I don't really care.
He's like, my mom wants me to have a degree, so he's getting a degree.
I feel like,
which is valid.
Good for him.
I feel like it's valid. I feel like they should all have done what Kimi is doing and get a high school degree at the very least, because then when your racing career is over, you have a little bit to fall back on, even though you're making millions.
I was gonna say,
even though you're making millions, at some point, we were talking about this this is completely off topic, but we were talking about, brought this up with Cooper Flagg, who is a freshman from Duke, potentially entering the draft for the NBA.
I have heard about this person.
Right, and so I'm thinking to myself, well, I guess you have your high school degree to fall back on, but why wouldn't you at least get a little further into your college degree so that when you eventually...
Well, the thing I'll say is, too, I feel like, especially from Cooper Flagg's perspective and athletes in general, you already have your foot in the door for broadcasting and stuff.
Yeah, but
9 times out of 10, you would be welcomed into ESPN or something like that, as long as you have some substance of what you're talking about.
I mean, an Australian who was playing for Kansas last year did the same thing. He was a freshman. He was really good. He was starting every single game, and they were actually really doing good. But he then went to the NBA, and I don't think he plays a game, but he's in the NBA at least. But it's degrees probably would help you there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that he's finishing out.
It's cool. The other thing I'll say is too, in today's world, people are a lot more accepting of not getting degrees. You know what I mean? Google is a big one in my mind that they don't care necessarily if you have a college degree. They just care if...
Interesting.
Yeah, they don't care so much.
No.
They have programs you can go through regardless of what your educational background is, and just get in there and then make money.
Yeah.
Always good.
Fair enough.
On the other PR news side, Max said he stood by the Instagram like that he did from last week. The post was basically saying that the Lawson Tsunoda swap was bullying and like a panicked move by Red Bull. And Max goes, I liked the post. I think that says enough, right? It wasn't a mistake. So it's essentially like a did I stutter moment. Like, yes, of course, I meant what I liked. It was me.
Hey, whatever. I
Yeah,
mean, I would
and
rather him be genuine about it than be like, oh, I'm going to support my guy,
Yeah, and then
It's
Laura Winters also asked Christian Horner about that. She was like, what are your thoughts on like the bullying and like the situation or whatever?
That's not bullying.
And he kind of just like avoided it, but he was also like, no, it was a unanimous decision to switch Yuki and Liam, apparently.
That's the
With
stupidest
the
thing he's ever
engineers,
said.
helmet, him, and everybody apparently was a unanimous decision.
Do you even ask Max in that scenario?
I'm sure
he
Max
has
had
some
think Max
perspective,
knew.
right?
I think Max had
Well, he definitely knew, but I'm saying, like, does his opinion matter?
Yeah.
He is the employee at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Sure.
They're all
sure.
employees.
Well,
It's a business.
I would argue Christian has more pull as an employee.
Yeah,
than Max
absolutely.
does,
but like, I think at the end, we talked about this last week. I think at the end of the day, this decision was made because at the end they want to keep Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, essentially, it doesn't really matter what Max thinks. I think in their brain, because as long as
No.
they keep Max, and Max is happy down the line, he doesn't have to be happy now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We will talk about this though, in relation to this weekend, because Yuki did not do anywhere close to where I was expecting him to do.
I'm curious, what was your expectation?
Q3.
Well, we got to go back to the podcast
I
from
mean,
last week.
after
Q3 in a row.
seeing qualifying,
Well,
At
for the
least
race,
out
okay.
qualifying Liam Lawson.
I thought you were talking about like race position.
when it came to the actual race, based on this qualifying, I thought he did a
Yeah.
decent job.
Decent, but points in a Red Bull for me is the minimum expectation.
But it also
yeah,
is
but
his
Red
very
Bull
first
hasn't
time.
been getting points from the second driver anyway.
Red Bull
Yeah.
has
so,
61
like,
points,
it's an
all of
improvement
which are
right
for
there.
Max. But I think that if you were going to make a switch after 2 races, the very least I expected was for Yuki to out-qualify Liam. And hopefully Isaac as well.
Yeah.
You're in a Red Bull. And then from the race
See,
side,
but
the least
hold
I
on, that's
expected was
unfair.
We all know
it's a little
the-
unfair with how that
we-
qualifying
yeah.
session went.
We-
I mean,
It's his fault.
Well,
And
actually,
what I
actually,
loved so much, hold on, give me
Okay.
1 second. What I loved so much was that Yuki went to interviews and said that he didn't get the tire prep that he wanted, et cetera, et cetera. And they asked Max about it, and Max said, I don't think it had anything to do with the tires. And I was like, damn, bro. Like,
Max is just mad.
he's not mad. What does
well,
he have to be mad about?
Okay,
He
he's not
doesn't give a
mad. He's
fuck.
disappointed.
I mean, they also had a motivation because Honda also added an extra $10 million for them switching Yuki and Liam. So Red Bull was also like, an extra $10 million? Thanks.
Max also definitely has that persona of just like, why can't you do this? And it's like, because I'm not you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Max needs to
unfortunately,
realize that everyone isn't
Yeah.
Max
there's
Verstappen.
it's almost like looking at like a Mark Zuckerberg, like when he like made Facebook. Like, it's like, why didn't anybody else do this? Because none of us are you, dude. You're an anomaly. Like, this is
Well,
how this works.
I love. Did you see the interview with Fernando Alonso? And Fernando is
I
like,
did.
yeah, that lap from Max was like magical. Like no one else
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
just a
Max
Max
can
lap.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the commentators spent a long time this weekend, which usually like pre-race, post-race, no one's ever talking about Max because Max is just Max. Max is doing Max things.
Max is gonna do what Max is
Yeah,
gonna do.
but this weekend they spent a lot of time talking about Max because they're like, dude, the lap he put in qualifying just does not make sense. Like
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
ungodly, like freaky good.
He deserves
And
the more
then-
chatter. He really does for
And
how
then his
crap
race,
that car
like,
is.
yeah. I mean, my favorite line, and this might be the title of this week's podcast because I loved this. I told Steven last night. It was best driver versus best machine, best car. Like that was what ultimately this race came down to. It was like the best driver won out over the best car because even though
Yeah.
McLaren has the best car, like Max is just gonna do Max things. So,
Is this where we talk about Maria? Can we start this conversation?
all right, what's your what conversation?
The one we was talking about last night.
Yeah, go for it.
Bet. All right, y'all. We're gonna do some psychology right now.
Okay.
Just a psychological exercise.
Take me to school,
Interesting.
Steven.
All right. So, if you are the top driver in we'll just say top right now, which is Max Verstappen, we know this, and he has the 4th fastest car, and you put in Myrna said that Lando Norris is like the 15th greatest driver right now.
I said that was the lowest I could. Hold on. Time out. I said that was the lowest I would
Yes.
put him.
What do you
like,
mean?
If you asked me right now, where does Lando rank? I'd probably put him top 10. But I could put him like 15th, 18th, somewhere
so
around
Wait,
there.
Lando top 10 of all time?
Yeah.
You're fucking crazy. What?
You think he's higher or lower?
Lower.
Of all time or just on the
I
grid?
can name
Of
10
all
guys that
time.
are dead
No.
that are better than Lando.
Right.
I can't-
That's my thing. Is like I think if you asked the average Joe, they would put Lando top 10 all time.
Yeah, because it's recency
because
bias.
it's recency bias.
Yeah,
but
that's all
for
it is.
me, like if I actually were to go back and look at every single driver and really think hard about it, he'd probably be top 15, top 20, something like that. What
Yeah.
do you think? You think he's lower than top 20?
I mean, how many world champions do we have?
A lot.
A lot.
There you go. I would argue if you have a world championship, you automatically outclass anybody that doesn't.
Let's put it this
Fair
way.
enough. Okay.
What are you with the guy?
Top 30.
Okay.
Okay.
I was because,
What was
okay.
Steven's point?
Well, it got interrupted, but
Yeah, continue
anyway,
your point.
Yes. So
If you
top
had-
30 driver, we'll say just for sake of argument. Top 30 driver with the fastest car. Which one are you taking to win 9 times? Well, more times than not. The guy with the greatest driver of all time with the 4th fastest car, or the 30th best driver with the fastest car. Because I think 9 times out of 10, Max is gonna win.
But that's very Max specific. Like if you
No, we're just saying greatest
that's
of all
what this
time,
was.
greatest of all time with the 4th fastest car. Who's winning in that comparison? The guy with the 4th fastest car is winning like every single time.
see, because I think that's okay. I'm like hyper analyzing what you're saying, right? But like for me,
Don't think about it too
right
hard.
now, as much as I hate to admit it, greatest of all time is probably Lewis. And I think
I'm just saying
Lewis in the fastest car, in the 4th fastest car versus Lando in the 4th fastest car, Lando's going to win out 9 times out of 10.
I disagree.
Are you talking about right now? Because that's a little unfair. Because Lando's young. Lewis is old.
That's why
I
I'm saying
mean,
just look at a guy with like Lando's talent
I
and a
think-
guy with like
saying
Max's
Lando-
talent.
saying
So
Lewis
are we
is old
saying
feels
same
wrong.
age?
'Cause he's
Yeah,
not
same
young.
age. Let's just look at it from like a talent standpoint.
No,
No-
9
no
times out of
age.
I mean, if we're going to talk about talent, then it's
I don't know
Max.
if it's 9 times out of 10.
Exactly.
I would take Max, yeah.
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 The
It's
kid-
go-
I mean, well, I would like
That's
to
my
say
point.
It's not just talent, obviously. He's probably one of the hardest working people in the whole sport that's
Yeah.
ever gotten where he is. But,
That's my point.
I mean,
So
you would take the guy with the 4th fastest car.
So are you
more
blaming
time-
your loss on Max Verstappen? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that the guy who's the better driver with the 4th fastest car should win. That's the expectation.
I disagree.
That's my
I
expectation. at
100%
least.
disagree. This season,
Michael
I
did
don't,
it,
I don't
though.
go into any race thinking Max is guaranteed this win.
No, I don't say that
Because-
either.
not
But I'm
because
just
he's the
saying
best
I'm
driver.
saying looking at it from paper, he should win because he's the best driver with the 4th fastest car. That's the expectation.
is he? I mean, I hate to
Yeah,
be
but
that
there are all
guy,
these
but is
external-
it
there
really
are
the
these
4th fastest car, too?
Absolutely. It's
No,
fourth or
that team
later.
is the 4th fastest team. Does that mean that Max's car is the 4th fastest car?
No.
At least.
No, come on. We can't be stupid about this. Those two cars are so
But
different.
you
It's
said-
unreal.
You literally just said it yourself.
I think
if
if you
anyone
wanna-
else sat in Max, like have Max Verstappen go through FP1 through FP3, set up the car the way he would do it, and put anyone else in that car, it's a back of the pack car.
Yeah, because they can't handle
So
it.
it's not the
Because
4th
I'm-
fastest.
So
then.
it's still the 4th fastest car. It's
I don't
just
think
Max
that's
can
true.
drive
I
the
d-
4th fastest car.
I don't know
to
if
a
that's
higher
true.
standard. Absolutely.
I think it's a different metric to judge that. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
because that doesn't necessarily mean
Either way, my point's proven.
maybe if you were to average it, then yeah, like depending on who drives it. If all right. The car that Liam tested, that Max drove, right?
Yeah.
Is that car specifically like? Do you think that exact same setup is what they're taking to like Japan, for example, or like something like that?
Well, it's
like,
very
is it gonna
track
be?
dependent setup,
Well,
but,
I understand that, but you understand what I'm saying?
Probably
Like,
Bahrain.
I think that we're at the point where the second seat is so hard to drive that I don't think there's many secrets left.
That's
like,
fair,
In that
yeah.
point where like if Yuki wanted to come in and grab Max's exact setup,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Max would have any issue with it because Max knows he can still beat him if he has
Yeah.
exactly the same car. So like my point I think is like the car is not all that different between the two. They set them
Yeah.
up differently and they set them up based on their liking. It's just Max can drive a car that's a lot more, for lack of a better word, unhinged.
well, I guess the
I
fair
still
question.
think the base car itself is like the 4th fastest car on the grid.
I think the base question would be like, well, what if we threw Lando in that car? What if we threw Lando in the second car?
Okay.
Yeah.
Arguably
love
the most
this.
capable driver besides Max in the field right now, maybe.
Yeah, right
It's
now.
up to interpretation. Oscar's really good. Charles is
Oscar,
really good. You know, stuff like that. If you were to throw Lando in that car, what would happen?
I
Q2 exit.
I think we should have a.
I don't know. She could be spot on because that car could. Yeah,
that's my point.
Such a question mark. It's unreal.
I think that Oscar would do much better in that car than
Probably,
Lando.
yeah.
I think Lando is a little bit more picky when it comes to cars.
Yeah.
He said
I
that.
agree.
Needs to be a little bit more balanced for it to work for him.
Yeah.
My whole thing, we were talking about this last night as well, was if you put Max in the McLaren and Lando in the Red Bull,
Well, okay.
this isn't even a question.
No,
because
that's the fastest driver in the
Interesting.
fastest car. Of
Yeah,
course he's
that's
gonna
how
win.
that
What if
works.
that setup isn't right in that McLaren? Like, what if Red Bull just have the
Well,
the
you're-
autism notes and they're
you're-
like, he likes it
You're,
this
you're,
way?
you're thinking about
Well,
it
then
too
he
hard.
would take that with him.
But do you think they let him?
I just think that
My expectation, just based on the fact that Max has the fourth fastest car and he's the best driver, he should win every race. That's not even a question in my mind.
I
Just
So
just
interesting.
on
I
paper.
I don't think he should though.
Don't
Like,
take-
he
I
Just
think
take
something
anything
fun
off
to
of it.
do based on what you're trying to say, Steven, is at the end of the season, we have an exhibition race. No points, nothing
Yeah.
matters. Everyone is in the same spec car, like an F2 and like F4
Yeah.
and F3 and everything,
Yeah.
and they do a race. But like the F1 cars, but it's like same specs.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
like the normal modifications you can for like your setup and everything that you can do in like F2. But it's the F1 car, same specs,
Yeah.
do a race.
I'm just really struggling.
There's your answer,
can't-
Steven.
I can't come to terms with the concept
think
of
Max
that
wins
car
that
being a
race.
fourth place car.
I can't come to terms with the fact that Steven expects Max to win every race with the McLaren the way it
I
is.
can't.
Because
The other thing
you
to
just said Lando is a top 30 driver with the first fastest car. I would never, not never, but I would be surprised if Lando wins as a top 30 driver in the first fastest car. That just doesn't make sense in my mind. Just doesn't.
So are you saying
Well, it's
that,
already happened.
are you saying you wouldn't be impressed at all if Max won the championship this year?
No,
That's not impressive to you?
no, it's not. That's my expectation. As the best driver, you should be winning every race in the fourth fastest car.
Okay,
but it's an
please-
interest. It is
No,
an
that's not
interesting
how that
point. It
leads.
is an
Tell
interesting
me how
point.
this makes sense. This
That
doesn't make
doesn't
any
make
sense
sense.
to me.
Take
No.
Right?
everything.
Thank you.
Take,
But it's Max Verstappen. But it's Max.
But it's the fucking.
if you ask,
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I mean, that's like if you asked me, if you took me, right, and put me in like, I don't know, like a McLaren F1, like whatever it is, and then asked to race against Max in like a Volkswagen Jetta. And it was like, okay, you have the best car, but that's Max Verstappen.
What about
Okay,
put it
but
this
Good
way.
luck.
Do you
We're
have experience
talking-
in the car? Because you would probably crash.
Okay,
the F1
we're
car.
talking
I've
about
driven
someone,
a McLaren F1 actually in Vegas once.
Did you really?
Yes, it was a little car experience. It was
We're
really cool.
talking
That's
about we're talking about like a driver who has been in F1 for what, 6 seasons now, 7. Lando,
Yeah.
a driver who is experienced, a driver
He's
who
got
is
the
driving
reps. Yeah.
the fastest car with his teammate there to back him up for them to finally do something with strategy that can beat Max Verstappen, and yet Max is still consistently outperforming him. Even if he's not winning, he still looks faster. He still looks better. He's still making
Because
less
he's
mistakes.
a better driver.
I think part of McLaren's
Right.
issue, though, you mentioned the strategy, is while they have,
But I'm still not
he has
expecting him
the
to win
driver
every-
to back him up there. There's still that issue with strategy because like papaya
We'll
rules,
talk about that
things
when
like
we get to
that.
the race. But my point, I think my point is, I don't expect Max to win every race.
No.
No,
I don't understand how you can say that because
Just
There's-
based on paper.
Well,
like,
based
you're
on the
thinking-
2 years ago.
Steven, it's not 2023.
It's
It
not-
is
it's
2025.
I mean, the race
You're thinking about this too hard though. Just take everything out of it and just look on paper.
on
The-
paper, sure.
Yeah,
but
that's
in
all I'm
reality,
saying.
there
I'm
is
saying
no
on paper.
concept.
The world is not 2D, Steven.
Yeah, the world.
We live in a
This
3D
is not
world.
This is not. You're taking this too seriously.
I'm saying that on paper,
Yes.
sure, if you take the
That's
world's
all I'm
greatest
saying.
driver
That is
and
all
the
I'm
fourth
saying.
best car, which arguably you have to also define what the fourth best car is. So the
That-
fourth best car, which
again,
is 5/10 off,
This is
still
on,
not going to be
This
the
is
best
on
driver.
paper. This is without looking at anything. This is just on the facts that the fourth best driver has the. I mean, the first best driver has the fourth best car. On paper, tell me
But
he
you
shouldn't
can't
win
apply
every
that
race.
to reality.
I'm not. It's just a thought exercise.
That wasn't fun.
I don't like. I don't
I
like
think it's funny
thinking.
we're
I didn't
implying the
like it.
Red Bull is slower than the Ferrari. Like Ferrari.
Yeah,
It is.
it is.
It is.
Okay.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
It's 100% slower.
I wouldn't say 100%.
Where did they
There's
finish
no
this
shot.
weekend?
Yeah.
Where were they at?
They were both ahead of Yuki Tsunoda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda.
Why you
dork.
gotta bring Yuki Tsunoda?
Guys.
into this?
No, yeah, let's bring the second Red Bull car into this.
Listen.
Yeah.
You're not understanding. The whole point is that Max outdrives that car. Meaning
Yes.
the
Yeah.
base car,
As he
the
should.
base Red Bull car is much slower than the base Ferrari.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all we're saying. That is the concept of how you place the cars is not based on where the cars finish. It's based on like, okay, raw pace, this is where each car is at. Compare the two teammates together, average time between the teammates. That's where that car is at. Let's be so for real. That car is fourth, maybe even fifth best on pace.
Still the greatest driver. I don't want to.
We've moved on, Steven.
We've moved on. I do not expect the fact that we were talking about this last night. The fact that you like it doesn't impress you that Max is able to beat the McLarens like that. It blows my mind because
Because
Max.
if he's,
I'm not as
I think that's
impressed,
mean.
first
I
of
think
all.
Steven's definitely
Personally,
impressed. Like for
No,
sure.
he's not impressed.
See,
he doesn't
I'm-
care.
I could
don't
be more
care. That's
impressed,
the
but I'm like,
expectation
it's
to me.
Max Verstappen in a Red Bull.
exactly.
I'm like, oh, well.
But it's Max Verstappen and Red Bull in 2025, not in
That-
2021.
That's still a top 5 car. Like,
You act as if an Aston Martin could win a race. That's what you're
Say that.
saying.
You're telling me an Aston Martin is a top 5 car?
yeah.
Probably.
What?
Haas is above them in the standards
What?
right now.
Williams, then whatever
No!
car, Williams, Haas, whatever. You're saying one of those cars could win a race.
I never said.
No.
That's implying that they're a
I'm
top 5
just-
car.
What is the fifth best car then?
I know Haas is above Aston
Fifth
Martin.
best car
Let me
is
look
like,
at the standings.
I don't know, like a Ferrari. Like,
Ferrari is the third
Haas, I
best
think,
car.
I think they're like a handful. I don't think.
Un momento.
Okay.
Who is fifth?
Okay.
I'm
let-
dead ass.
look-
Who
let's-
is fifth?
Hold on. Let me think about this. Okay.
Williams.
Fastest car we have
Williams.
McLaren.
It goes McLaren, Mercedes, Red
Mercedes,
Bull,
Red-
Ferrari, Williams, Haas, Aston Martin, Racing Bulls.
That's
Stake.
that's the constructor standings.
Alpine.
That's
Yeah,
the
but,
constructors.
like,
that's
that's
not the
what I'm
race pace. It's McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. Fifth would probably be Williams or
Okay.
Haas.
Yeah.
So my point
Okay.
is,
That's what
you're
I'm
saying a
saying.
Williams and a Haas could win a race?
If you put Max Verstappen in a Haas, I
There's
think he could
no
still win.
shot, guys. There's no
Max
shot.
would not win in a
Max
Haas.
would not win in a Haas.
No.
I said he could. I didn't say he would.
Nah, bro.
Could,
Tristan,
would,
please
blah,
tell
blah,
me
blah.
he's insane.
If you put the Stig in a Haas,
conversation is so unhinged.
if you
Where
put-
do you think he would finish?
I think he'd be lucky to get on a podium. Maybe fifth.
Interesting. I think you're right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Okay, moving on.
But
Please.
but that's a
Moving
little.
on.
I mean, it's a
Carlos
little bit of an
Sainz.
Just mute
absurd
Steven. It's just-
argument.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's-
are we gonna get to the race?
We're gonna get to Carlos Sainz, and then we're gonna get to
Oh, okay.
free
we're getting there.
practice, and then we're going to go to qualifying, and then we're going to the race. Okay, I want to talk about Carlos Sainz real quick. We probably should talk about this after free practice and whatever, but I want to mention this because it's FIA stuff, and I hate the FIA.
Yes.
Carlos
Don't we
Sainz
all?
was fined $20,000 for being late to the national anthem, even though he had a doctor's note.
Actually, it's worse than 20,000. It's 20,000 pounds or euros,
Pounds,
isn't
Yeah.
it?
euros,
Right?
And then
whatever.
if
So it's
he does
worse.
it again,
Worse.
it's another 10,000.
Well, so it's like he has to pay 10,000 up front, and there's 10,000 like pending, like on hold.
If
And then if he
again.
does it again, he'll pay the 20,000 plus the 10,000 that's on hold.
It-
So
So dumb.
it's crazy.
It's arguably the dumbest of, well, not the dumbest of recent because they tend to do stupid stuff every weekend, but like,
we know this.
come on now. Dude had a doctor with him. He was genuinely not feeling too good. God forbid he was late a couple minutes for, I don't know, what was the, we were in
National
Japan,
anthem.
so the
Yeah,
Japanese national anthem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's silly.
I'm sure we all have the same opinion.
it's silly.
I think
I
it's
mean-
just stupid. Like, especially if he was just late, like in the bathroom and late,
Yeah.
fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Poor time management. But the fact that he like had a stomach issue, he saw a doctor, he was with a doctor at that time,
Yeah.
is like, why? Like, this is so stupid.
What do you think if the number was lower? What if he only had to pay like 500 pounds
It's-
or something like that?
it's-
Does that change the
No,
concept,
'cause
or no? It's just the
for me,
principle.
it's like the principle of
Yeah.
it.
Because well,
Yeah.
but there is the concept that he went to the drivers' meeting and they said you can't be late.
Fair
I mean, I
enough,
hate
but,
to be that
like,
guy, but that is
yeah.
what was told.
I mean, the
so
thing
like,
is, I guess we gotta say too. I mean, 20,000 euros to an F1 driver is probably like $500.
it's true, but
Yeah.
it's not about how
It's
much
about
they
the
make. It's about the
principle.
principle.
No,
yeah,
you're right.
it's
I think-
excessive.
But you make a
But-
good point.
Okay, but I
yes.
It's
think,
the
like-
same sort of thing, you know, in their eyes.
Yeah.
I think that like for me the principle of it is like, wait, if you miss class for missing class, that's on you. Like
Yeah.
you missed class, and if you were to
Yeah.
get fined, or like when we start, shout out to Mike Portman, when we start his class every semester, he calculates like the amount that you pay per class. If it's like a Tuesday, Thursday class or whatever, 2 days a week, it's like $160 something, whatever, for an out of state student per class. Okay, I just ripped $160,000 for missing class. Great, whatever. But like the principle of it is like if I get a doctor's note then you miss class for a reason. It's not just like skipping to skip. He wasn't late just because like poor time management. He was late because he was legitimately sick in the bathroom and he got a doctor's note.
It should not be.
It should not be a fine. Like I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
But from their perspective, it's like they're probably just sitting there like, well, okay, boo-hoo.
They're just
still
being
gotta
the
do
FIA.
time,
They're just being the FIA.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're FIA-ing it up. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of the FIA, and more importantly,
not.
just the Japanese Grand Prix or whatever.
Whatever
We
that
talk
thing
about
was.
this stupid dry grass, like dry
What,
grass,
4
drain
times?
covers, four or
4?
5 red flags because
Well,
of dry grass.
I thought it was 4 because it was either 4 or 3. So if
There
you're
was-
thinking 4 or 5,
It was more
the 4.
than 2.
It was 4.
There was one in quali, right?
More than 2 is not an anomaly.
Was there one in quali?
I don't remember.
Don't you
All the
remember?
grass fires are blurring together.
There was a lot of grass
It
fires.
was at least 4.
It was at least 4.
I mean,
does the racetrack does not have sprinklers? Like, I mean,
it's just the grass is really dry, and
I
then
was gonna say,
the
this
car
haven't
bottoming
gotten
out and the
rain in a
sparks.
while.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
when they were
Like-
talking about the fires, they were like, yeah, it's surrounded by water, the track, because when they built the track, they didn't want to like hurt the agriculture around it,
Well, sure.
the infrastructure. So like it's surrounded by water, but the track is so dry because there's the rice fields around it. I was like,
Yeah.
that's
they
I
just
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 think
haven't
it's-
gotten rain.
I
mean,
just think it's
yeah.
stupid that we're in a $1 billion sport and we're still having red flags
Well,
for fires of
fires.
grass.
That's
I mean,
just-
at least
that's-
they're put out quickly.
Yeah. Again, it's just like an FIA thing. I mean,
I just-
I think it's just a precautionary thing. Like, yeah, we could be annoyed about it, but at the same time, it's like, what if something were to go wrong? You know?
Well, I'm not complaining about the red flag.
Yeah.
I think it's just the red flag is just
complaining
fine.
about the fires.
I'm complaining about
She's
the
just
fact
saying
that
that
there's
it shouldn't
even
have
fires.
happened,
It shouldn't happen.
yeah.
It's just like we're like the drain cover stuff that we had last year.
Yeah,
I
it's-
mean, it
yeah.
shouldn't,
How much-
fundamentally it shouldn't happen. This is $1 billion
Yeah.
sport
Yeah. By
with
definition,
thousands
yes.
of like hundreds of
They-
thousands of spectators in person,
I
plus
know-
everyone watching online. We shouldn't have to stop for a red flag
Yeah.
because the grass is on fire. They
Okay,
should just
but
water
it's
the grass.
It's
Yeah.
the thing that it happened on the
Like-
first day, and it's like, okay, so then you should know
Do
it might
something
happen
about it.
again.
Yeah.
But then
I
it
agree.
happens the next day because they didn't like water
They-
the grass or
They
It's
something.
just-
watered
Yeah.
that spot. Like, from my understanding, every time it happened, they would like put it out, and then overnight or whatever, or whenever it was between sessions, they would water that spot.
They should have done
The same
all
spot
the
didn't.
spots
Yeah,
that
the
could
same
happen.
spot didn't catch on fire twice.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of different
It's
spots.
just, Christina, you can appreciate this. It's bad groundskeeping. That's what it is.
Yeah, I know.
I know from my time as groundskeeping, when the grass got dry, part of my job was literally just sitting there for like hours just with a hose, just
Right,
watering
and
the
there
Yeah.
wasn't a
roadways.
$1 billion
Yep.
sport at
That's
your
just how
grounds
you do that.
place. Like, I'm just saying, like, why couldn't we pay some marshals to do that? That's my
or
point.
just get a water truck and literally
Or
just drive it
that.
around with like.
Or
Yeah,
that.
Like,
Either
just
way.
go around before the.
I'm
before
just
it
glad that it
starts.
rained overnight, so we didn't have that issue during the race.
But at
'cause I would've
least
been
it
so
was not
pissed off.
raining during the race.
As an American F1 fan who was awake till like 4 a.m. watching the race,
Yeah.
I would have actually like thrown something at the TV if we had a red flag for a
You're like, let's
a
wrap this up.
fire.
Me too.
Like,
As someone who would have been up since like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
No.
for real.
So-
The other thing that was in free practice was Jack Doohan's crash.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Rough
Completely
crash,
driver
man.
error.
Yeah.
Completely driver error.
Absolutely.
But I think it's interesting because they kept talking about like the DRS flap like closing and like that's kind of like a manual
Yeah.
thing. At some races, it's more important than others going like at the end of turn 1 to like get it spot on. He was taking so much speed and it was so
Yeah.
dumb. Like,
I mean, in his defense, he thought it could be done. It just didn't work.
No.
Yeah, he just pressed the button too late, and then it
He
just
tried
took too long
something.
to
He
close.
tried something. And it
It
didn't
was just a
work.
little
That's-
whoopsie.
Yeah.
whoopsie. I just think it doesn't do well for his
No. Well, I mean, did y'all
stock,
see that?
for his driver stock.
Frank
For
Sure,
public
yeah.
hosting a
Right?
test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw that.
I
It's
I
tough.
just think it's
What
interesting.
driver is going to be at the next race?
I think it will be Jack, right?
I thought it was no
I
reserve.
think it's Paul.
Oh,
Because
reserve.
I thought it was supposed to be Franco for 2, Paul for 2, and like they
think it's
alternate like
Paul
that.
Aaron.
But I think because it was the Japanese Grand Prix, they did the home driver as the reserve, so he could do the FP1. But I was like, I thought it was supposed to be Paul, but
I don't
so-
know. I thought it was supposed to be Paul Aaron, but I'm not sure because
Love
they have
Paul
so
Aaron.
many. They have so many reserve drivers.
They're 4.
Damn, it's crazy.
It's
How
crazy.
many are they allowed to have?
You're only allowed to have 4 drivers in the car during like the season
The
in an actual
season.
race.
Oh,
In a-
so you can
in
just
a-
have infinite reserve drivers? No matter
Yeah.
what- Okay.
Yeah,
guess.
but the likelihood of them getting to drive the car.
They're all
is-
just
Yeah.
like test drivers. Let's
yeah,
be
they're
for
all
real.
test and reserve drivers.
Yeah.
But let's move into kind of qualifying the race. The main thing I got, and we've already kind of talked about this from qualifying in like Q1, Q2. Well, Q1 was firstly Isaac Hatch's buckle issues.
Yeah, that was hard to watch.
Again,
Yeah.
$1 billion sport. in which a man almost lost his ability to have children because his belt buckle was just like.
And
guys,
how did we not fix this during
How did we not
Wow,
fix
there's
this during
goofy
testing?
cockpit
This
stuff
is
going
the
on all
third
the time.
race.
Listen,
Gimme,
guys,
you cannot have the drink. No drink.
No water for you.
when I saw they showed like his cam in between one of the sessions, or I think during one of the sessions,
Yeah.
the pain he like literally looked like he was in, like it looked
That-
like he was like
that
gonna have
hurts,
a
man.
seizure.
That hurts.
I know.
It
I know.
hurts.
I'm aware.
Yeah, y'all don't understand that.
Yeah, man.
or so I've been told. It does hurt.
It hurts
But my
quite a
point
bit.
is like again, back to the same like principle. We are in $1 billion sport. How does this happen? Like again,
Especially
also,
on the third race.
and it happened in FP3. Like he complained about it in FP3. Why didn't they fix it? That's
Yeah.
my whole point. Is like
I mean-
everything that happened this weekend. It was like, why didn't you fix it before?
Was it fixed for the race or no?
I think so.
I would certainly hope
Okay.
so.
I would hope so.
The thing is, though, I mean, we would have to get like super technical about this and like what they would actually have to change for it to, be fixed permanently. Like,
I'm sure it's just a seat adjustment.
Yeah.
but I'm
Oh,
sure that-
Jason, where
I'm
are
sure-
you?
I'm sure.
I
I'm
told
sure that's
Jason
hard
to do
though.
a Tech Tuesday about
Like,
this, so we'll see.
If like the seat isn't the seat like a part of the chassis?
No, it's like put in.
Yeah, because
it's
like
like a mold.
It's a
the seat
mold.
is molded to them. So like when Jack wasn't in
just
his
saying,
car
I
I'm
for
sure-
wouldn't be
FP1, they just
surprised
switched
if
the
the
seat.
seat was just kind of like not
Not
put
in
in
place?
properly.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
kind of awkwardly placed. But like again, like why didn't we change this between FP3 and qualifying?
Yeah, because
you had like
one
3
time
whole
during
hours.
FP3, they were like, Isaac, do you need to get out of the car and we can change this? And he
And
was
it's-
like, yes.
And it's the way Isaac Hadjob made it all the way to Q3. And I was sitting
Yeah.
here. I literally said it out loud during qualifying. I was like, dude, I hope he just gets out in Q1 so that he doesn't have to deal with the pain.
Yeah.
Like, just get out.
He was
like,
expecting it too. He was like, if this is why I get out, I'm sorry, guys.
yeah.
There's not much you can do with that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it goes to like his character too though, because they were talking about it on F1 TV. They were like him with the belt buckle issue and everything else is like it just shows, and he had this in F2 as well. It was like he's kind of like Max in that he tries to get the maximum, and he expects the maximum from his team too. So it's like part of the reason he was so frustrated, not just because of the pain, but it's like, bro, I told you about this before.
Yeah.
We're not like this is hindering my performance, and it's something that could have been easily fixed before.
Yeah.
So,
I've got his quote from F2 stuck in my head now. No, I've destroyed the car.
he could have easily destroyed the car in that
Yeah.
much pain. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. man.
But on the other side of the garage, Lawson out-qualified Tsunoda
By one place though.
by one place.
By one place.
The expectations I had for Yuki Tsunoda were higher than this.
They're way too
Yeah.
high.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, like,
I mean,
but-
we could spend a whole day talking about how bad the
Yeah.
Red Bull
In my
CM2
F1
is.
predicts, they were literally two of the questions were one was who will finish qualifying higher and who will finish the race higher. I was like Yuki for both of them. Yuki only did one of them higher.
I
was
just
the
think
race.
that like again it's the principle of like you're in a Red Bull, you should be out-qualifying your sister team. On the other hand of that,
But we know the RB is easier to drive. And
yes,
it's more
Yeah.
that's what I was
rewarding
saying.
than
On the other
Red
hand of
Bull
that, there is
cars.
that aspect, and again, he did finish higher in the race. I just think that based on like his free practice results were pretty decent. Like I
Yeah.
think he was supposed to be higher. And then again, he like said something about like tires,
I was
and
gonna
Max
say,
was like, that was not tires.
There is
But it
something to
is
be
very
said about
person
that,
dependent.
though. There is something to be said about that because he wasn't. I read about this that Yuki wasn't given the same tire opportunity Max was.
What do you mean?
I believe, like Max had stickers and Yuki didn't. What's the difference?
What, sticker tires?
Yeah, Max had still, I believe, had sticker reds left, and Yuki didn't. He was
Do
using.
you mean like fresh
Yeah.
tires?
Fresh
Yeah,
tires?
sticker
Oh.
means they're fresh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he went on a fresh set in Q2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was just something about the way it worked out. He didn't have the same opportunity Max did.
Well, I think like ultimately the run plans are decided in each garage. Like the
Yeah.
driver and I think Yuki got an extra run compared to Max. Granted, Max is like the king of going out in Q1 doing one lap that's a very good lap and not going back out, and same
Yeah.
with Q2.
So he does
unless
save
he
tires
feels
there.
that he needs another lap just to learn the track more, or if like for some reason his first lap wasn't as good. But I think Yuki did at least 2 if not 3 laps in Q2. So like
Yeah.
there was no excuse in my opinion. Like even if you come across traffic, then that's even worse because then it's like that's an issue your team had.
Yeah.
You can't as much put it on the driver, but it's like, okay, not only did you not get your lap right at the beginning, you struggled to put a lap together, but then also your last lap was like hindered by your tire preparation because you went out kind of late. I don't know. I think that ultimately you wouldn't be put in that position if you just got your lap right earlier.
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
there's always gonna
especially
be
Q2
it's
in a
always
Red
gonna be
Bull.
the asterisk that is the cursed Red Bull car too.
How long do we give that excuse?
The curse.
I'd say as long as Red Bull is Red Bull, you can give that excuse.
Until that car
yeah.
starts to get consistent. I mean,
Until they figure out what's wrong with the car. I mean, like, they know what's wrong with the car, but, like, until
Hey,
it's no longer, like, the fourth.
Upgrades are coming.
Are they, though?
They are.
Are they
They are coming.
upgrades or upgrades?
Yeah, they upgrades or they upgrades.
So I've been told.
Oh, wow.
Red Bull
Avoiding
are
the question.
smelling
Typical Red Bull
blood.
fan.
Smelling.
They're smelling blood because they're coming with upgrades. They already won a race without their upgrades, and they're coming for Lando
So are
Norris.
you trying to say they're like a shark? Like, 'cause
I mean,
sharks
Max
like
is a
smell
shark.
blood and then they like
Max
swim,
is a
swim
shark.
to
It
the
is
blood
funny
and
though
then,
that
like,
that's even a conversation that we're at that point where it's like Red Bull is fighting McLaren like that.
They are.
It's just funny. To
I
me.
mean, Max is fighting McLaren. Let's
Yeah.
be for real.
yeah.
it's true. Yeah, it's just a funny concept to me.
I also let's talk real quick. Again,
Mm-hmm.
skill issue
Oh, here we go.
from Williams. How do you not tell your driver
Oh,
that
the
there's
Alex Albon thing.
that there's
yeah.
some no,
Yeah.
there's Carlos Sainz.
Oh.
How do you not tell your driver that there's someone on a fast lap behind them in qualifying? I just don't get it. Like
Tristan, do we gotta say it again? Do we gotta say it again, Tristan? Do we
Steven,
have to bring this up?
Spotters.
Dare I say,
spotters,
learn a thing or two from
learn a
NASCAR,
thing
why
or
don't you?
they
Hey,
just
to your point, Marina, it's a billion-dollar business, and we don't have spotters.
That's
I don't know
a
what
fact.
we're
That's a
doing.
genuine fact.
I don't know what we're doing
Unreal.
with that.
it is. But also, I think again we gave a lot of props to Max. They gave a lot of props to Max. Fourth pole position in a row in Suzuka.
Yeah.
It is a little bit about like what is this track that like this so good. This track is very driver dependent.
Yeah.
Like you saw
Good
it,
driver
Driver
dependent
makes a
track.
difference.
It's gonna happen.
driver makes a
Like,
difference. So, I don't know. I was very happy. It was a very good
You
sports
get the
day for
Stig
me.
on his favorite track. He's gonna get pole every time.
I mean,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
think about it, it's technically the longest track in an F1 car he's driven because he had his first FP1. Did he have his first FP1 practice in like 2014 there? Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Man, he was born there. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's had a lot of running in Suzuka, but I think a lot of them have. I think it's funny because if you like go across the grid, pending like drivers with like home tracks, most drivers will say Suzuka is their favorite track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it is one
It's
of the
kind of
most driver
wild to
dependent.
me.
So
But I mean, I guess because I'm biased because I look at like Le Mans or like Nürburgring. I'm like, how can you not say those two? But you know,
Yeah.
F1 doesn't go there really.
Yeah.
They
so.
don't race there?
did you say Le Mans? Did you say Spa?
He said Le Mans.
I said yeah.
Oh,
Le Mans and
I was like,
Nürburgring.
They don't race.
They don't race
No,
there.
he's not saying that. I think he's
one
saying like in general,
Yeah.
race car drivers go to those big venues.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the
I
F1
guess.
drivers were being asked about the tracks they
their
currently
favorite
drive
track
Oh.
on the grid.
Like,
on
what
the,
do they drive
on
on?
the-
Oh,
And
okay,
they
I
said,
guess
oh,
that's
my
true.
favorite
I
Suzuka.
didn't really
Yeah.
think about it that way.
'Cause it's an
Well,
old track,
Nürburgring
you know.
they used to race up.
Yeah.
But they don't anymore.
They should, man. That'd be so cool.
Isn't it too dangerous?
Sticking
That's why
with
they
Max.
don't.
Wow, the big
It's
tracks
also-
I never raced that.
I was gonna say it's also a 16.2
well.
mile racetrack.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's crazy. They could never.
3-lap race.
literally.
Sticking with Max, I want to talk about the pit exit. How did you see that?
That was
moment?
just Lando trying to do something that wasn't gonna work
He
from the
just
beginning.
Yeah.
wanted to take a break and mow some grass.
I hate that Max said that. You want
I
to talk
thought-
about arrogant? My gosh.
arrogant. Dude, Max
See,
has
but
made.
they laughed about
They-
it.
they were
They
laughing
laughed
at it.
about
It's just
They both
adding
laughed
salt
about
to the wound. It's
I
like,
don't think
come
so.
on.
I don't
They
know.
laughed about it. I don't see it that way. I see it as Max once again making excuses for Lando Norris. Again. I mean,
How so?
well, when they were talking about like back, let's all the way back last year, Miami, they were talking about Max. The quote you love to say, if my mom had balls to my dad,
Yeah.
that was Max defending Lando.
Yeah.
That was Max like giving him an out.
See,
Yeah,
I
I
don't,
know,
I
I
don't,
watched that
like
press
Max
conference
doing
Same
that.
thing
I don't
here.
want him doing that.
You
That's
don't want
just-
him giving
No.
Lando the benefit
You don't
of the
want him
doubt,
being
giving him an out,
supportive?
being
I
supportive.
want him to be. I want it to be earned.
You don't
I
want support?
It's not that I don't want support. I want it to be earned.
What do you want to be earned?
I want support to be earned. I don't want him to be like, oh, you know, you tried.
Well,
it's okay.
I mean, Lando was
Like,
still like up
no.
his ass the whole race, but it's not like he like disappeared into the distance.
No.
Has Steven been watching F1 lately, or is he just like pretending?
I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, I don't want someone patting me in the back because I tried. I don't want that.
Okay, whatever. You do you, boo.
Interesting take.
let's this whole thing happened.
Steven, dude, you're being
Poor
bullied.
This
This is
whole
my
thing,
life story.
Okay. This whole thing happened because of, in my opinion, McLaren's god awful error.
Error?
In
What was the error?
pitting Lando on that lap.
I don't think
that was
it's
the
that big of a
stupidest
deal.
thing they could have done.
It's really not.
Listen,
You think they should have
nothing.
gone earlier or later?
You have nothing to lose by doing something
No,
different.
but like it's,
Right?
at the
In
same
my
time, he
opinion-
did the safe choice.
In my opinion, they should have pitted Lando the lap they pitted Oscar, and they should have left Oscar out. Because Oscar wasn't at the point where he was complaining about his tires. Neither was Lando, for
Yeah.
that matter.
No.
They were pitting to undercut George, and the undercut wasn't that powerful. They saw that already. So it's like,
I think they definitely could have gone later for
I
sure.
think-
Essentially, yeah.
here is what I think about McLaren, and it's the reason why I think Max can still very easily take this drivers. They're very conservative. They are
Yep, I
way
agree.
too worried about being respectful between their two drivers and not getting into another situation where they have to ask Lando to give up this position to Oscar or vice versa.
Yeah.
That they're feeding right into Max. They're giving him all that he wants.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Well, it's kind of funny when you put it that way because it's like, I mean, I feel like this is what it is at the end of the day. Like McLaren is treating it like a business and Max is treating it like a sport.
correct. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the
Which
first
at the end of the day it is. It's a
papaya
business.
rules stuff and
I
everything
mean-
happened. Someone was like, "I wonder if Mark Webber added something into Oscar's contract
Okay.
about all of like second driver
So-
things
so
because
I just saw
of Mark
this.
Webber's past."
There is a video of Mark Webber arguing with Zach Brown post race.
Oh, of course he was.
I
What
am
else is new?
I'm convinced that there's something there, like between those two hate each other. It has to,
Surprised me.
like, because I just don't get it too. Because again, I don't think there's anything wrong with them having the gap to Leclerc was so big. There was nothing wrong with them switching those drivers. If Oscar couldn't get Max, they switch him back.
Yeah, but
Or even better, Oscar. It's so hard to overtake. If Oscar, God forbid, is like if he is able to overtake Max, not God forbid for me, but not God forbid. If he is able to overtake Max, backing him up into Lando and Lando overtaking him, and then Lando and Oscar switch back, then it's Lando win and Oscar gets P2.
it's a valid
Like-
point to have tried something, but at the
I
same
think there
time,
was no reason for them not to try something. We always sit there talking on the grid about the fact that McLaren has the advantage because they have two drivers to play with strategy with,
Yeah.
and yet they never do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer a threat. Like, you can ask, like, if you're asking Max from his point of view or Red Bull from their point of view, McLaren as a team is no longer a threat because
I wouldn't go
they can
that
only be
far.
he can only be threatened by individual drivers. He can't be threatened by the team and their strategy because they never do anything different. They're always
Yeah.
very, very conservative. So, okay, sure, you're still going to get the 2-3, but they would have gotten the 2-3, in my opinion, anyways,
No,
if they
I
had tried
agree.
something different.
Yeah.
Or 1-2.
I just think that
Or a 1-3.
I just think that between Lando and Oscar, like Lando was of course trying to get to Max and Oscar was trying to get past Lando. I just think there was so much yo-yoing that I just think Oscar didn't quite get close enough to where it would have made
Well,
sense.
Oscar
for him to
killed his
pass him.
tires.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why
my
he
point.
dropped back. But he was at times, he was like, he got
I'm
to
just
like
saying,
a 10
I-
delay.
I-
There was one on the
don't-
radio message. It was like, I'm faster
faster.
than Oscar.
Yeah.
Lando.
Yeah.
I think that, like, and the times showed it. I mean,
I
the
agree.
fastest man on track for half of the race was Kimi Antonelli.
Loved
Yeah.
Kimi. He was leading the race at one
He
point,
was
so
leading
he's
the
now
race.
the youngest driver to lead a race.
Because he had to do it by China.
Yeah.
If
Or
he had done it next week,
Japan.
Japan, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's what I
would've
meant.
and they
He had to do it by Japan. 'cause
I liked it when he was leading the race. They were like,
younger.
guys, if there was a red flag right now, Kimi could switch his tires and he could potentially win this race
Yeah.
and beat Max's record. And I was like, oh, that was so fun. I was like, guys, but what if Kimi did do that?
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but like for those like 6 laps or
Yeah.
whatever, I was like, this is fun to pretend.
I honestly think that no matter what McLaren could have done, I think that was Max's race to lose. Honestly,
I fully agree.
Yeah, Max's race to lose, but if McLaren optimizes their strategy better the way
I'm
Red
just
Bull
saying,
does so often,
no matter what McLaren would have done, I think they would have lost every time.
I mean, but it was
don't
only
think so.
1.4 seconds at the
it
end.
was
I
1.4
mean,
seconds, and Red Bull had again. I thought it was so funny because Christian totally blamed this on their pit crew. Christian literally he goes, "Well, our two of our pit crew guys are like head pit crew guys. They're twins, and their father is like having issues, so they weren't here this week, and we had our backups in. That's why our pit stop was so slow." And I was
Okay.
like, "Way to like team support, hey." But
I don't think he knows what that is.
yeah. Anyways,
My thing is too.
they had a bad stop. Like,
Yeah, I was
if
like-
if Lando had pitted the lap Oscar pitted, I really do think he would have come out ahead. Genuinely.
yeah.
Because it was 1.4 seconds, and Lando had a much better stop. Like, they came out neck and neck. Had they done something different that wasn't exactly the same as Max, I think they could have won that race easily. That's my point. It was 1.4 seconds, and at times it was like he got in DRS barely for a couple or a lap or two. So it's like, it's not like it was so far away. You just needed to have track position, and in my opinion, the way to do that was either to go one lap early. You just had to do something different than Max. Anything they did different than Max to get in, they kept themselves out of free air the whole time. Max had the free air, and that's why he won the race, in my opinion. If he had been behind Lando at any point, he wouldn't have won the race. No shot.
God forbid the wild concept of being in first helps you win the race.
That is crazy.
But like at any point, like I think that whoever came out in free air after the stop would have won.
Yeah.
So had they been able to like do that,
I think if you get McLaren in free air, which again wild concept, you get a car in free air, they're gonna win the race.
That's my point. You
So
saying wild
it
concept?
must have been the air.
So you're telling me it's a
Exactly.
wild concept, but again, McLaren didn't think of this. That's my point. Is like if they had either pit him before, which I think would have been probably the easiest to do.
Yeah.
If not left him out, he would have been in free air, Max in dirty air behind, and pitted him a couple laps later, or God forbid, like let him go out and do what Kimi did.
Yeah.
Kimi, like, he was closer to George than he was before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they messed up, and I think if they keep doing this throughout the season, they're going to lose to Max.
Can we appreciate, this is on like a sort of aside, that possibly the prettiest car of the season won the race?
I agree with that.
I agree with
statement.
that statement.
Though you see, it's weird to me because I was watching this, of course, watching the race, but like it's like I'm not even watching a Red Bull.
Yeah, 'cause it's
I
white.
mean, yeah.
It's weird.
I really
But it
like-
looks so
But
cool.
the
It does.
Haas also.
The Haas look fantastic
The
too.
onboard cam,
Yeah.
the
I
onboard cam with
disagree.
Max's helmet and the Red Bull for the livery, the white livery, it was spectacular.
You know what this
I
reminds
think
me of?
Max has a set this weekend with the helmet, the suit, and the car. It was a
great-
nice set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that Red Bull look was
They were-
phenomenal.
You know what
Yeah.
this reminds me of? I know we're actually talking about cars before the podcast. This reminds me of Lightning McQueen in the Dunco livery. Remember, like the alternate universe thing? That's what this
Yeah,
reminds
it
me
kind
of.
of does look like that. Yeah.
Can we go back a second to where you said the Haas didn't look good?
I just don't like
Who
it.
said that?
I don't
Steven.
like it.
Steven, you're already in the other room, but get out.
Go to the penalty box, man.
I'm in the penalty box.
Leave and go to a
Leave
different
and go to the
penalty
penalty
box.
box. Go to jail.
It's
jail.
about the thematic
Jail.
for me. The thematic for the Haas is really cool
So
because it
epic.
actually is Sakura season. Like the
Yeah.
cherry blossom
No,
trees
the
are
idea-
Yeah, Cherry
full.
Blossom season. That's the whole
Listen.
reason they did it.
I
Yeah.
love the idea. I just don't like the execution.
I think
So
they could
you hate
have.
pink.
No, I didn't say that. I just don't like the execution.
I kind
That's
of
all.
agree with Steven on a very minor scale because I don't like how the front wing and the back wing were still red. But like you can't change that because
Like
it's
that
the
was
sponsors.
my
so
only
it's
issue.
like,
I was like, if the back was like pink, it would
Well,
look
actually,
better.
it's not
But same
true.
on the Red Bull. If the
Man.
back was not black, it would have
Maria's
looked better.
having a-
I don't know.
But
Me
I
and
Existential
Steven just
crisis.
ain't
I
gonna
still-
agree today at all with
Somebody's-
anything, bro.
It happens sometimes.
It's a tough deal.
He's
I would need
moving
to
out
ask
soon.
somebody to like fix it, like see what it would look like if it did, because the Haas back wing has Haas on it, so I don't see why it couldn't.
By
have
the
been
way,
pink.
I know you said not to talk about other sports, Marina, but can we just talk about the
No.
score of this women's basketball game right now? Like this is ridiculous.
What's it at?
What's it at?
73-44 UConn.
Are you serious?
Damn, bro.
Like
I had
this
you- I
is
had you.
and it's 7 minutes ago.
Golly.
I lost my
That-
train of thought, guys.
This is insane.
We talked so much wheel.
Yeah.
Now we talk basketball, we lose it.
Like this is just mind blowing.
Speaking of insanity, do you know Max Verstappen's pole to win ratio or conversion?
do I even want to know? Like,
I think
80%.
Oh,
It is the highest
80?
in F1 history.
80
That's-
flat.
80 flat.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
sick.
again,
Lewis is 58.
expectations.
That's like my French
Fernando
exam
is
this past
63.
week. 80 flat.
there you go.
mine's still being graded.
Dang.
We are
French
checking.
3?
We are checking.
Yeah.
Are you guys in the same class?
No, we're
No.
not. Or else I'd have a
This
tutor.
podcast is going every which way, man. This is great.
Golly. Well, I will say, I don't know if we're winding down. Where are we at here?
Yeah, we're winding down a little.
Well, I was going to say, because the Lights Out Latest crew is actually going to a race this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
stay
we
tuned
are.
for Man on the Street
What?
content.
Obviously, the invitation is
sure.
extended to Christina. We haven't gotten to talk to you, but we're going to go to. It's more NASCAR style. We're going to Port Royal Speedway on
Heck
Saturday.
yeah.
They are having I forget exactly what the tribute race is. I pitched the idea to the gang, and we're going to go.
Heck
It's going to be
yeah.
a good time.
It's going to be a good time.
Hopefully, we'll
Dirt
film some
race,
content
baby.
while we're there.
Interesting.
Just very minimal stuff. It's going to be some dirt track, 410 sprints. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be loud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My uncle
love
used
it.
to race dirt tracks.
Awesome. There you go. Nice. My uncle used to race asphalt on
No,
Jersey
that's
Shore.
crazy.
Yeah.
You
I
know
mean,
that
they were
I
only
drive
dirt
on
tracks
asphalt?
because it was in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. But
Well, but there's a lot of tracks out there. Kansas has some good races.
Yeah,
They
Kansas
used
Speedway.
to,
baby.
NASCAR used to race there. I don't think they do anymore.
I thought they did. They don't race
No,
at Kansas anymore?
is it Kentucky? It's either Kentucky or Kansas. They don't.
They
race
definitely
at
don't race
anymore.
Kentucky.
I can't
I
remember.
can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I
I
thought they
want
raced
to
at Kansas.
I want to end off before we go to predictions. I want to end off with something that me and Steven discovered last night, which is actually the best piece of content I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is it the
Valtteri
Valtteri Bottas
Bottas
video?
oh, the TikTok.
Yes!
If you have not seen this TikTok,
This is
I
the
please
best
go watch
video.
this TikTok.
That was
Tristan
so
has not
funny.
seen this.
This is
TikTok.
the best
This
video
is
I've
the
ever
best
seen.
video I've
Tristan
ever
also
seen in
doesn't
my
use
entire
TikTok.
life.
Oh, I know.
I watched it
I
at
know you
least
said you were gonna
10
end it,
times
but,
yesterday.
Charles also now has
should
the
I just use my
most
phone?
points in a
Use my
Ferrari.
phone.
Oh, I would like yes.
Yes.
That's a great talking point.
He originally was going to set the record in China because
Then he
it
got
was
disqualified.
1,400. Then
my
he got
gosh.
disqualified and was at 1,399. And now that he finished fourth in this race, he now has the most points as Ferrari driver.
Is Ferrari like cooked?
Which
Are they
video am I
done
looking
for the
for?
season?
Should
Is it
be.
this
I
one?
think it's
Let me see.
Valtteri's newest
one is
video.
I think it's on his account.
I thought it was on Mercedes.
Is it on Mercedes?
It's on Mercedes.
It's a collabed
yeah,
post,
it's a
I
collab
think.
post.
It's on both.
I don't know. I'm going to go to Mercedes.
You gotta look at Instagram.
Oh, it's on Instagram.
I saw it on
My
TikTok.
favorite.
It's
Wow.
on both.
Yeah, I think it's just easy to find on Instagram.
I just don't use TikTok, so I don't know.
I want Mercedes F1. Why is
This
Also,
one.
Tristan Greg Biffle is sleeveless.
Nice.
Guys,
this one?
this is
Yeah.
like if you have not seen this
so
video, please go
amazing.
watch this video.
Need for speed.
I also saw something that
Oh,
was
he's
like
on a roller coaster.
Yes.
so many Ferrari drivers have
It's just
won
the
their
angles.
150th
It's just
the
Grand
angles.
Prix.
Valtteri. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, so people were
pure
like, maybe
cinema.
Charles will win because it's his
It was
150th
his
Grand Prix.
150th Grand Prix.
I was hoping he would win too because of that, and it was
Did
like,
we see the mini Charles?
yes,
Yes,
I
they're
loved
so
him.
adorable.
cute.
But you know, it was a
Yes.
mini Charles, a
Mini
mini Lando,
Max.
and a mini
Yeah.
Max, and like
So cute.
Charles got to meet
They had the
Charles.
poses
he
and
signed his
everything.
helmet and
Yeah.
everything. It was great.
He was also exactly 16.
Lewis saw him
yeah, he
too.
was
16
16.16.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
Charles
oh,
was like,
that's
oh my
cute.
gosh,
Do you
I
think
can't
that
believe
was
it. I loved it.
planned? Like their
No, I
parents
think
were
that's-
just like,
No, I
let's
think-
get you
I
down
think
to
those kids
exactly
said, no, I'm doing
16.6.
these things. And
Yeah.
it just happened. But no, I loved that. That was part
That
of my
was
that
so cute.
some of my favorite parts from this weekend.
Definitely
Also,
favorite.
that hat
This is blowing
that had
my
all the
mind.
helmets on it.
Which one? Oh, I
The
did
hat
see
of
that.
helmets. Yeah, that kid
The
had.
Japanese, like a round of applause for the Japanese fans.
Yes, I
'cause
always
those
loved
guys
their hats.
are
They're the best.
Fantastic.
I think
So
if I
round of
had a
applause.
bucket list Grand Prix to go
Oh,
to
it's
just for the theatrics, it would be Japan for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Mine's,
got them
mine's,
also-
mine's obvious. Where is mine?
Well,
Abu
it's
Dhabi?
obviously
No, I've already been Abu Dhabi.
It's in Abu Dhabi. It's
Oh,
the
wait.
Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
Oh, duh.
I actually think
Like,
the Netherlands
I
would
had
be
to
really
go.
cool too because you're right next to the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Super
all know
cool.
Marina's been to Abu Dhabi.
Oh, I
Of course, of course.
The best race ever.
And
Anyways,
Suzuka is like right near where the hell is
So-
it? Nagoya, which is like I think. Oh, if we have any Japanese viewership, they're gonna kill me.
I
I'm pretty sure
swear.
Nagoya is really famous for they have really good food compared to the rest of Japan.
Japan
Japan has a lot of
has
good food
great
in general, but I'm pretty sure Nagoya is like known. Like they
All
have
right.
specialties, whatever.
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 Bahrain predictions.
Bahrain.
Whoop,
I'm gonna
whoop.
put you
It
on the
will be
spot,
hot.
Tristan.
There is my prediction.
It will be hot.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
gonna put you on the
that
spot.
another night
First.
race or is that a day race?
I think it's a night race.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
a night race. Okay.
Wait.
I'm gonna.
oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
flip flop it. I'm gonna take. Call me lame. You can call me lame if you want. That's fine.
You're lame.
Damn. I didn't expect it out of you, Christina.
It's,
Did
it's
you
never the
expect it
ones
from
you
me?
expect.
I expected it from Marina.
You make me out to be so
I'm just
mean.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I literally said before the pod that
Says the one who says me and friends to each other are
Someone-
300% more loyal.
yeah, that is
And then
fair.
you expect us not to expect you to be mean?
I know. Well, so we were talking about before the pod. Someone asked me how I would kill Tristan. I won't throw the person on the bus.
Someone.
And I said,
Take
I
a
would-
wild guess.
I said I wouldn't kill Tristan. I would kill me before I killed Tristan.
That is
And now
too
I'm being
kind.
accused of being a bully.
No.
Okay.
Nar.
Anyways, your prediction
Yeah.
for the
So
Bahrain Grand
my
Prix,
prediction:
please.
take Japan, flip it. So it's gonna be.
Lance Stroll?
No. All right. God damn it.
Not the whole grid. Not the whole grid.
Gabriel Bortoletto, you are an F1 winner. No. I'm taking the McLarens are just going to leapfrog the, what's it called, the Red Bull. So I'm going to have
That one.
Lando, Oscar, and then Max.
So what?
That's gonna be my
What
top
was the
three.
concept of flipping?
flip
Flipping would
it.
have been Oscar Lando.
All right.
Yeah, I
you
was
know
like,
what?
that would be flipping.
Whatever. I'm just going to go
Okay.
home and cry.
Talk about a bully. golly.
Lando, Oscar, Max. Okay.
Yes, that is my
Steven,
top three.
Since we're talking about expectations here,
Oh.
if you say Max Verstappen to win,
of course I'm going to say Max Verstappen when you can. You said yourself that he's better at this track than Lando is,
He's
and
a great-
Lando
he's
is
great at
terrible
this
at this track, so why wouldn't Max win?
don't think he's terrible. He's just not as good
So why would
Anyways.
Max win? Why would Max win?
because he's in the 4th best car. But we've been over this already.
We have.
What is your prediction?
moving on.
For
Max is
Ferrari?
winning. I don't want to say is, but Max I expect to win.
Okay.
Max I expect to win. Lando second, Oscar 3.
Wow, you're so creative,
you.
Christina.
If I just keep saying it, eventually it'll become
Are you
true.
gonna say Charles?
Yes.
Oh my
But we'll
god.
do
What's
Charles?
the definition of insanity?
Doing the
same thing over and over again, expecting
Yes,
different
I know.
result.
My guard teacher told us that all the time. He was like, "I'm not going to do this because that's the definition of insanity." But no, eventually it's got to become true. Like like you're guessing what you're doing.
Okay.
Like something. So Charles, then Max,
Okay.
then Lando, or
Okay.
Oscar.
Okie dokie.
Did you just say boring?
No.
Oh.
I said okay.
That.
I thought you said boring.
I don't think hers is boring. Yours is boring, but hers isn't boring.
You're
Yeah.
telling me you want Max to win?
I would love for Max to win. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but Charles.
There
Oscar,
you go.
Oscar, Max, Lando.
Can I just say I swear you're more
No.
of an Oscar fan than Max these days.
I'm a you know
She's
what?
been switching up.
You know what? Let's make this one thing very clear. I will never be more of an anyone fan than Max Verstappen. However, in a world in which the McLarens are much faster, if I just keep predicting Oscar to win, at some point Lando will fall off.
So this is like reverse psychology.
Correct.
Trying to go, yeah, you're trying to do some like witch doctor stuff.
So
Is
you-
that what's going on here?
My gosh.
Just stop being anti-Lando. It's
Yeah,
okay.
man.
I'm anti Lando till I die.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
and that might be
And
next
hey,
year.
Hey. Who has the Lando sticker on their computer right now?
I don't.
Yes,
You
you
do.
do.
You have the. Oh my gosh, I'm a Pisces, and let me tell you
Green
all about
flag.
it, or whatever it is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I can't see it. Yeah.
You do have a Lando sticker, so I don't
I'll
I've
know.
take
gotten
it
everybody's
off.
sticker. I see Danny. I see
I'll take it off
Carlos
today, don't worry.
Sainz.
I'll take it. Can I
Okay.
have it?
I'll give it to Christina.
There you go.
Because I'm an
Everybody's a
I'm-
winner.
Like a
like
winner.
a winner.
There we go. all pieces restored to the earth.
Yes.
Anyways, with Max, just 1 point from Lando. It's still anybody's game. So you have to stay tuned to both F1 and us.
Of course.
course
to find
us,
out what we
guys.
think. Because guys, we're
It's
so
us more than
unhinged.
us.
Guys, stick
well.
around.
Stick around.
You
Gotta
can
find
hear
out if-
Steven and Marina yell at each other. It's good. It's content.
It's-
And maybe
it's very
everybody's
fun.
favorite guest star, Christina, will
Christina
reappear.
will come in.
Christina
She'll
is
do the
like-
weather some days, maybe. It'll be good.
I can talk color guard.
She can do color guard. She'll bring her
Apparently.
thing in and
World
do the
Championships
twirls.
just happens.
Yeah.
No, it is not twirling. It is spinning.
Damn.
There's a
There's a
difference.
difference.
All right. Anyways,
Time
stay
to
tuned
Google.
on our Instagram and TikTok, @Lights the Latest, for more content from us. And, of course, every Monday at 11:30 Eastern Time. Bye, guys.
Peace.